Funny thing, when people talk about suburban nightmares, they're usually joking. But there I was, standing on my own lawn, reading a letter that told me by actual decree that my family and I were now under curfew. Not from the government. From the people next door. The ones with the power, the money, and apparently a serious obsession with control. The first 3 days after that letter felt like a fever dream, half sitcom, half crime novel. This wasn't what I pictured when Sarah and I bought the little gray house just outside the fancy gates of Crescent Pines. We were supposed to get the best of both worlds, a patch of land with privacy, no HOA, no one policing our mailbox color, and enough room for 3 kids and a dog named Lucky who'd bark at his own shadow. Instead, we'd landed in the crosshairs of some neighborhood empire where a gold and maroon seal was all it took to turn ordinary people into vigilantes. It started out with cold stares and the occasional snide comment about our grass length. Typical stuff, annoying, but nothing I hadn't seen before. 6 months in, it took a turn. A contractor showed up one day claiming he'd been sent to measure our lot line for the HOA. I told him to measure his own sanity and sent him packing. That should have been it. But after a few days of quiet, the real storm hit that letter thick as a law book delivered with the smugness of a tax audit. Effective immediately, all non-certified residents must remain indoors after 1900 hours. My house, my kids, my rules. Not anymore, apparently. Sarah looked at me over her cereal like I was reading some bad joke. Mia, our oldest, asked if that meant Lucky couldn't go for walks after dinner. Even the dog whined as if he'd picked up the neighborhood gossip. Anger wasn't the word. I tried to laugh it off, but there was nothing funny about a bunch of neighbors treating us like intruders. So that night I took the trash out at 7:30 sharp. Nothing happened except a whole chorus of curtains, twitching shadows, moving behind glass like we were on stage for some HOA-sponsored reality show. Then came the escalation. The baby got a fever and there was no Tylenol left in the house. No choice but to run to the pharmacy, only this time the HOA patrol SUV pulled up before I could even back out. 2 guys stepped out, one with a clipboard, one with a flashlight and a chip on his shoulder. Residents not certified under the safety agreement must remain indoors after 1900. They quoted it like scripture. "I'm not under your agreement," I said, keeping my cool by the thinnest thread. "This is private land." Clipboard guy nodded, like I'd just told him water was wet. Then flashlight tried to block my way, hand clamped on my arm. Instinct took over one twist and he was face first into his own bumper. Clipboard lunged and got a chestful of my palm for his trouble. That's when the police arrived. Sirens, blue lights, the works. 2 real officers, older one barking orders, younger one reaching for his cuffs. Suddenly, I was the bad guy, hands up in front of my own house. I glanced at Sarah standing in the doorway with the baby and Mia gripping Lucky's collar. Cuffs went on anyway. Jail was cold. The bench even colder. When they let me out in the early hours, Sarah was waiting in the parking lot, engine running, baby asleep. Back home, we didn't speak. She reheated coffee we didn't want. My anger had burnt off, leaving something sharper. Focus. If they wanted a fight, they had one. Joanna, our attorney from a previous zoning nightmare, got the call. She showed up ready for battle. After one look at the letter and my citation, her verdict was simple. No jurisdiction. None. They're breaking the law. It was almost a relief hearing it from someone who knew her stuff. Cameras went up, gate locks double-checked. A formal complaint filed with the sheriff. I posted the HOA letter online, no commentary, just the facts. By noon, the post exploded. Some neighbors thought I was stirring trouble, but most were horrified. "Is this a dystopian novel?" someone wrote. Karen Queen B of Crescent Pines responded with a public post so drenched in syrupy condescension it could rot your teeth. "We regret any confusion. For your safety, recent incidents have made security necessary." As if I was the threat. But the real twist, they weren't just trying to bully us. They wanted our land. Joanna pulled the zoning maps. Our property, clearly outside their boundaries, was suddenly listed as pending annexation. Someone had forged my signature on a document buried in the welcome packet, making it look like I'd agreed to join. Another signature authorizing a boundary change came from a county planner who'd been dead for over a year. Try explaining that to your kids. It got dirtier. A tip came and checked the July board minutes. There in black and white plans to integrate our lot with tear down circled. Demolition, all because we didn't want to join the HOA book club. More threats appeared, anonymous notes warning about consequences if we kept resisting. This was extortion, plain and simple. I called in Leon, a tech-savvy friend from my old job. He swept our home network, found evidence that someone at the HOA office had tried to access our security cameras, tried and failed, but not for lack of trying. He recovered video of the night I was arrested. There I was, talking calmly, then the HOA guys grabbing me, not the other way around. In the corner of the frame, Karen herself whispering into a walkie-talkie, "He's resisting. Good. Get ready." Chills even watching it back. All of it went to Joanna. She went nuclear injunctions, complaints, media. Leon dug deeper and found internal HOA emails, plans for demolition, pressure to make us crack. Karen signing off on everything. Joanna found vendor payments, tens of thousands, sent to fake companies, P.O. boxes with Karen as the contract admin. This wasn't just harassment. It was embezzlement, conspiracy, fraud, federal case stuff. Karen tried to hit back, filed her own lawsuit, hired private security to camp on our lawn. We hit back harder, restraining orders, more complaints. The neighborhood started to split. Some folks brought cookies and apologies. Thought you were the problem, but it's her. The cracks were showing. The county stepped in, froze. HOA accounts started investigating. Karen, sensing the walls closing in, went on a PR spree, flyers, open letters blaming me for destroying the community. For the first time, no one bought it. Eventually, she was arrested, picked up at a spa, face covered in a green mask. The news went viral. Gated coup, they called it. After that, the house stopped feeling like a bunker. Crescent Pines HOA was dissolved. Our lot officially outside any HOA control. My fence, 8 feet high cedar and camera, stood as a monument to what happens when people push back. I screwed a plaque to the inside. This land is free. No curfew, no permission. If you're looking for rules, turn around. Neighbors started taking selfies with it. Karen got 13 years. Her cronies pled out. Our nonprofit Beyond the Gate helped other families fight back. One kid in Arizona got to keep his wheelchair ramp. A veteran in North Carolina had his flag put back up. Felt good to know something changed. Sometimes I still catch myself looking out the window, expecting a patrol or another certified letter. But it's quiet now. Just one kid's laughter and the dog finally able to walk after dark. The real moral power isn't in the rules, it's in who's willing to say enough. The day someone grabs your arm on your own property and calls it policy. That's the day you find out who you are. The day they forge your name, threaten your kids, and try to bulldoze your house. That's the day you stop laughing and start fighting back. So here's what I still wonder. Where does order end and tyranny begin? When is it just keeping peace? And when is it about control? Ever been in a spot like this? Stood your ground or wished you had? Would you fight or would you fold? I'd like to hear how you see it. Tell your story. Because when enough people stand up and say, "Not here, not my home," that's when things finally change.